Hi, and welcome to Unit 1, Lesson 4, Order of Operations. This is an extremely important lesson, and there's a lot of information that I'm going to present in here. Make sure you stay all the way to the end of the video because there are things in here that you're gonna need to see. Let's get started, shall we? First thing I want to do is I want to talk about when simplifying an expression or an equation. This applies for equations as well. You want to make sure that you follow these three steps. First, complete one step at a time when simplifying, and then you want to work down your page. So in other words, you have this problem in front of you. You want to identify what needs to be done first. Do only that step, write everything else right below it, and then the step that you did, do another step and work your way down. That's helpful because when somebody's looking at your work and they're trying to understand what you were doing, it's easier for them to follow. But also if you made a mistake and you're trying to figure out where your mistake is, you just have to go line by line and say, oh, here I did this, here I did this. So that's a very helpful thing for not only you, but for anyone else that might be looking at your work. And then the last thing is you want to apply PEMDAS for every step. Now, I know you're thinking, what's PEMDAS? Maybe you know it already, you probably heard it in elementary school, hopefully, but if not, let me explain what it is. It's an acronym, and it stands for your order of operations. So here it is. It stands for parentheses, exponents, and I threw roots in there too because that goes with it, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, and that's the order that you're supposed to do things in. So that would go this way, starting at the top and working your way down. Now, one of the things that I really need to point out to you is that multiplication and division is a group. You do it as it occurs from left to right on your page. Same thing with addition and subtraction. It's a group. You do it as it occurs from left to right on your page. You don't want to look and say, oh, well, addition is first, so I have to do that first. No. It's whatever occurs left to right. And you'll see that in the examples that I have. So you probably want to put that in your own notes, that this right here is a group, and this right here is also a group, okay? Make sure you understand that. And then another thing that I want you to know is for the parentheses up here, this is actually all grouping symbols. So it's not just parentheses, grouping symbols. Meaning we have braces, we have brackets, and a lot of times they're going to be all mixed together. Those are all considered parentheses, and it would fall under that category. And you'll see that as we go along. Now, to help you memorize PEMDAS, there's this creative little acronym that goes with it. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You may have heard that. You know, that's one that's most common. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. She has gas. Shh, just kidding. Anyway, I've heard many other things too. I've heard something about purple elephants. My students have told me about. Please excuse my day at school. So there's a lot of different things that you could do, but please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is the easiest way to remember it. Now, let's try some samples, shall we? Notice that in the bottom here, I have your the PEMDAS written. So we're going to refer to that. You should have that written down as well. And we're going to solve some problems. So looking at the very first problem that's on this page, you say, all right, you go here, you say, are there parentheses? Yes, there are parentheses right here. So in other words, that's what I have to work on first. That's the part that I need to focus on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my highlighter, and this is just to help you see what I'm doing. That's the very first step that I have to do because I have something inside parentheses that needs to be done. So 4 then, and then a parenthesis, 5 plus 3 is 8. Now I hope that you know that when you have a number written next to a parenthesis, that means multiplication. So if you're unsure what that means like that, that's what it means. Unless there's an addition or subtraction symbol in there or a division symbol, then it would mean multiply the two numbers. So then again, you go to, you did one step, I worked down, I'll go to the next, I'll go and reapply the order of operation. Parentheses, yes, they're there. However, when you look at this, it's a number inside the parentheses. There's nothing to do in there, which means this is only multiplication. So don't get it confused by saying, oh, parentheses, I have to do something here. There's nothing to do. Then you go to exponents and roots. Nope. Multiplication. Yes, this is multiplying. So that's what we're going to do next is multiply 4 times 8 is 32. Okay? Looking at the next one, much bigger problem, right? This one is kind of fun because let's look at the very first step. Parentheses. Yes, we have parentheses. But now we got a couple of things going on inside the parentheses. You need to think about that. So once you say, all right, I have them, they're right here. What do I have inside there? So in other words, reapply your order of operations. Well, I have subtraction and I have an exponent. And what comes first? The exponents. So we want to make sure to follow the order of operations inside of the parentheses as well. The parentheses are just telling us where to start. So in here, I have a 4 squared. I want to do that first. 4 squared means 4 times 4, so it'd be a 16. Now these numbers up here, I didn't use. So I'm just going to rewrite them, and I'm working my way down. The first thing I did was 16, and then I have this minus 14. Now I'm going to reapply my order of operations. First thing is parentheses. Do I have parentheses? Yes, I do. And there's something to do inside them? Yes, there is. The only thing to do, so that's going to be the next step, 16 minus 14. So I have 6 divided by 3. 16 minus 14 is 2. Now this very next step, they have a problem like this on Facebook, I think, and they gave it out to adults, and something like 70% of them missed it because they look at this and they say they don't follow their order of operations. So, do I have parentheses? Yeah, but there's nothing to do there, so that doesn't count. Do I have exponents? No. Do I have multiplication? Yes, I do have multiplication. But remember that this is a group and you do it as it occurs from left to right. And what comes first? This part right here. That's where people get it wrong. Because they think multiplication comes first in order of operations, so I have to do that. No. Remember, it's a group. That could be very tricky. So the first thing that you're going to want to do then is this, the 6 divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and all I'm left with then is 2 times 2, and this is 4. Cool? Next thing, we're going to talk about nested parentheses. So look at this problem here. This is huge. I got parentheses, I got braces, and I got brackets. Now, if you want to know what's what, I could write that for you right here. These are braces, and they typically go on the outermost portion. And then these are brackets. That would be the next ones in line. And then you would have the parentheses. Remember in the beginning, wow, my handwriting's bad, sorry. Remember in the beginning I told you that all of the grouping symbols, and these are all considered to be parentheses, that's what I was talking about. The reason that we have different ones is so you can identify what part goes with what. So for example, if you look up at the top, here's my outermost brace goes with this. So that includes everything in here. The brackets are right here, and those are encompassing this part. The parentheses themselves, well, you have a group here, and you have a group here. So it starts with parentheses, then it goes out to brackets, then it goes out to braces. And again, it's just for you to identify. So I'm going to erase this down here, assuming you got it already if you needed it. If not, just rewind. And then we're going to look at our order of operations. So parentheses, yeah, there's a whole bunch. What you want to do is start with the innermost set. So it's not going to be these, because those are the outer set. It's not going to be these, but we're working our way in. It's actually going to be these here. Now, what's kind of neat about this is that we can actually do 2 steps at once. Because when you look at this, you're probably thinking, well, I'm really confused because I have this set of parentheses and this set of parentheses. Which ones do I do first? Because they're both in the same set of brackets there. So I tell you, it doesn't matter. You can do them both at the same time. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have 10. I'm not using that. Plus, all right, rewrite that. 2. This is times. 3 times 2 in here is 6. Notice that I dropped the parentheses at this point because I don't need them. If I had them here, that just makes it look confusing. It's unnecessary, so I'm going to leave it off. And I have 2, and this is 6. And then the minus from up here, minus what is 2 times 2? That's 4. There's the closed one, plus 1, and then the final brace. Well, now it looks better already. Apply that order of operations again. Parentheses, yes, I still have them. This is the innermost, so that's what I'm going to start with. And I'm going to do this step next. So I have 10. Whoops, highlighter's still on. Oh, and I'm erasing my problem. 10. Okay, so I have 10 plus this quantity, 2, and then 6 minus 4 is 2. And then plus 1, and then this closed brace there. Again, reapply my order of operations. And inside here now, what do I have? I have multiplication and I have addition. And what comes first? Multiplication comes first. So what I'm going to do is this, the 2 times 2. I have 10 plus this brace. That becomes 4 plus 1. Notice that I dropped those brackets now because I don't need them. I did the multiplication. And then I reapply my order of operations. And in here, I have addition. So I have 10 then plus, and I have 4 plus 1. I didn't write the plus. Oh, silly me. Okay. 10 plus. Now, I don't have to write the braces here because once I do 4 plus 1, it's 5. There's nothing to do there, so I could just write it like that. And then this answer is 15. That one's kind of a beast. But as long as you understand with nested parentheses, you start with the innermost set and then you work your way out, applying that order of operations each time. For the next problem, I want you to try this one yourself. So pause the video and try it, because if you get this one correct, then you're doing fine. If you don't, you might want to go back and rewatch parts of the video and try some of the other samples that I have in there before I solve them. But look at this problem, pause the video, try it, and then I'll write down the solution when you come back. All right, welcome back. Did you really pause the video? I hope you did. If you're like my son Jack, you didn't pause the video, you just kept playing it. Jack. Okay, Jack's watching me. All right, nested parentheses we did. Let's go to solve this problem. Wow, well this is a beast. If you look at this, parentheses, yeah, I have a set of parentheses here. I have a set of parentheses here. So you could do, again, both of those at the same time. Inside this one, though, I have subtraction and I have multiplication. You got to remember that the multiplication comes first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do 2 different steps. I'm going to do the 1 times 4, and I'm going to do the 8 minus 5. I'm going to rewrite everything else, again, working my way down the page. 4 plus, parentheses, 7 minus 4, because 1 times 4 is 4. And then plus 3 times 2 minus 8 minus 5 is 3 to the second power. Whew. Like now, I'll go to my order of operations again. Do I still have parentheses? Yes, right here. So I'm going to do that part next. The 7 minus 4. And I have 4 then plus 3. Now, do I need those parentheses on there? So I'm going to get rid of them. Look at that, that's beautiful. Okay, and then plus 3 times 2 minus 3 to the second power. Okay, then what I'm going to do, apply my order of operations again, parentheses, yeah, but there's nothing to do inside there. Exponents, yes, right here. So I'm going to do that step next. I have 4 plus 3 times 2 minus 9. 3 to the second power is 9. Then all I have left in here, ooh, there's a 3. All I have left in here is just multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And what comes first on our order of operations? Multiplication. So I'm going to do that first. 4 plus 3. And then this is the part I'm doing right here. 3 times 2 is 6, so this will be plus 6 minus 9. And then I have addition, subtraction. That's a group, so we do it as it occurs from left to right. So the first thing I'm going to do is 4 plus 3. That's 7 plus 6 minus 9. And then again, left to right. So I have this, and that's 13 minus 9. And then all I have left is 13 minus 9, which is 4. How did you do? Hopefully you did well. Please remember to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you get the next lesson. And I'll see you next time. Have a good evening, everybody, or day.